Now it's time to move on to employment, healthcare, and finance. Each of these areas are interesting enough on their own, but when they come together, they form the totality of who the YAYA individual is, finally settling our confusion surrounding this demographic.
It's not always apparent that YAYA workers struggle to balance their work and social lives, and this can cause misconceptions about the factors that most influence their job search. Turns out, 62% cited passion as more important in a career, compared to 38% reporting that salary is their main focus.
Between being passionate in their careers and having so many things on their plate, YAYA individuals are often susceptible to burnout. But the good news is they know this is only temporary, and they look beyond burnout to focus on their long-term goals and the bigger picture. In short, YAYA individuals are burned out, yet building up again. But it's not hard to see that YAYA consumers are willing to stretch themselves thin to make ends meet.
In fact, 70% of our survey respondents have had side hustles. 74% believe they need more than 2 jobs, and as many as 86% have considered supplementing their income with a side hustle. So even on top of their full-time jobs, YAYA individuals are spending even more time trying to make money. It's safe to say they have a lot going on.
So companies should recognize these side hustles and tap into talent by creating more opportunities for part-time and freelance workers. With having so many hidden things going on, individuals in this demographic are bound to burn out. As a result of balancing jobs, side hustles, and social lives, 80% of respondents reported feeling burned out. That's why communication is key with this age group.
Companies who communicate with YAYA employees quickly, effectively, and empathetically will gain their respect and attention. Effective communication can go a long way with this group, especially because there's no clear-cut path for YAYA individuals on how to interact with an employer.
This is apparent in ghosting, which is when an individual doesn't respond to someone after building a relationship. In the workplace, it can even be accepting a job and never showing up. Oftentimes, this demographic doesn't see they're doing it, but employers do.
YAYA job prospects may appear disrespectful as a result of their ghosting, but upon closer inspection, it might not be their intention. 66% of employers reported to Randstad that they have been ghosted, despite only 22% of our respondents stating they have ghosted an employer. This discrepancy makes it clear that YAYA job prospects aren't doing this on purpose. They just feel left in the dark during the application process.
To avoid the ghosting epidemic, employers should clearly communicate expectations and hiring timelines. One company that does a good job of keeping applicants informed is Veterans United. On their applicant landing page, they include the step-by-step process of an applicant's hiring journey from applying online to receiving a job offer.
Beyond ghosting, it's hard to look past the 9-to-5 jobs listed on their resumes and understand that YAYA workers have broader experience than first meets the eye. Many have already tried their hand at different types of employment, such as part-time jobs, full-time jobs, and freelancing.
With having all this experience, it's not hard to see that this demographic has an entrepreneurial spirit. As many as 30% believe they will own their own company someday, and beyond that, they have confidence in their skills. 70% reported they'd leave a job within 2 years if they weren't promoted, and 84% reported they'd leave a job within 2 years if they weren't given a raise.
So it becomes clear that YAYA individuals are optimistic about their future careers. And when you piece together all the truths of this demographic, you will begin to see the full picture of the YAYA professional.
With spreading themselves thin in their work and social lives, YAYA consumers' minds can get clouded. That's why they make taking care of themselves both physically and mentally a priority. The YAYA demographic sees the decreasing stigma around mental health, and they are acting on it. YAYA consumers are leading the charge of a mental health revolution. Ranking above common dangers like drugs, alcohol, and e-cigarettes, YAYA individuals reported that mental health is the most damaging issue facing their generation.
And although there's a perception that physical health is more important than mental health, YAYA consumers see them as equally important. In fact, 81% of YAYA individuals believe that seeing a therapist for mental health is the same as seeing a doctor for physical health. Mental health is so important to the demographic that 91% of our respondents agree that employers should recognize it as a valid reason to use a sick day. And 84% agree that employers should also offer paid days off for mental health.
Because mental health is so important to this age group, individuals need to be able to discuss this topic freely with no hidden agenda.
This focus on self-care has spread into the busy lives of YAYA consumers, and they are actively finding ways to incorporate self-care into their routines. In summary, YAYA consumers have a stronger focus on self-care than older demographics.
By definition, self-care is any activity done deliberately in order to take care of mental, physical, and emotional health. YAYA consumers prefer the kind of self-care that can be easily built into their busy schedules, like spending time with friends and family, napping, exercising, and playing video games.
And even though it's not always apparent, 72% of YAYA individuals participate in self-care activities at least once per week. 88% of those surveyed believe they should participate in self-care activities at least once a week, even if they aren't actively doing it.
Brands that spot this demographic's focus on self-care as an opportunity will see the benefits. These consumers prioritize the time they make for themselves and value brands that do the same.
An example of this would be how Adobe, LinkedIn, and General Electric all cover the subscription cost of Headspace, which is a meditation app, for their employees. Some companies are even integrating mental health into their corporate structure, like Deloitte, who recently introduced the position of Chief Wellbeing Officer, who oversees the work-life balance, health, and wellness of employees.
Self-care can be used to fight off the stressors of everyday life, like finances. Nevertheless, realities like bills, loans, and credit cards force YAYA consumers to open the door to the world of finances. But YAYA consumers are pushing through their financial anxiety to pave the way for a new era of finance.
The truth is, their financial priorities are divided between the future and fun. Maybe that's because they're unclear on what the future even holds. Their financial objectives are split between paying expenses, saving for the future, and having extra cash to have fun.
And with these financial objectives, the older the YAYA market gets, the harder it is for them to envision a financial future independent from family. Overall, YAYA consumers expect to be financially independent from family by 27, but that number varies depending on the age of respondent. Younger YAYA consumers anticipate financial independence from family by 25, whereas older YAYA consumers aim for 28.
But despite their anxiety surrounding personal finances, YAYA individuals are confident in their financial skills due to an abundance of financial resources. Turns out, 84% are confident in their ability to manage a credit card, 80% are confident in their ability to budget, and 78% are confident in interpreting their credit score.
Even with their confidence in the ability to manage a credit card, only 2/3 of them actually have one. But YAYA individuals are putting their financial acumen into practice in other ways, with 75% of them checking their bank account balances multiple times a week.
Even though it's true that YAYA individuals are navigating their finances with new technologies, their priorities are still rooted in security.
More so than other demographics, 48% of our respondents use digital wallets, which are wallets that live on your mobile devices instead of in your back pocket. What they use these digital wallet for varies between debit and credit card purchases, movie and sports tickets, and gift cards.
In addition to digital wallets, YAYA individuals are utilizing other payment technologies, with 29% using Venmo, 37% using Cash App, and 60% using PayPal. Even though YAYA consumers are embracing new technology, they're still unsure when it comes to some areas of finance. Despite what popular media would have you believe, YAYA consumers are hesitant when it comes to cryptocurrency. 54% of respondents are still unlikely to use cryptocurrency due to the lack of security that comes with this digital asset.
So marketers need to see that YAYA individuals are torn between saving for the future and living in the moment. Companies that can reach these individuals by helping to bridge that gap. For example, financial institutions can install budget tracking categories and limits to help prevent a YAYA consumer from overspending, in turn alleviating financial anxiety and becoming a friend to them.
As you can see, the YAYA demographic is clouded in misconceptions. Sometimes we have to look from different angles to see the bigger picture, but there are benefits to those who choose to see this demographic under no illusion.